So, thank you very much. My name is Reverend Lynn Laborde. I live in Huntington on Long Island in New York, and I am 60 years old. I'm about to go celebrate my 61st birthday in Vegas next week with a bunch of girlfriends. I'm so excited. I've got a couple of people there and a couple of people that are flying in. And let's see, I went to Georgetown University for college. I majored in Chinese. What was I ever going to do with that? And then I found myself living out in California and ended up working in banking and finance for about 25 years. And in 2018, I got a message one day that it was time to quit, time to retire. So I did that. And I had 29 certificates and all of this wealth of knowledge and information and training being a spiritual consultant. And never thought that that was anything I could like kind of come out of the woo-woo closet about. But recently it was made very, very clear to me that that's exactly what I needed to do. So I went on TikTok one day, made a little video, talked about I was going to do this class called Claire and the Clairs. And the videos have now like 12,000 views over them. So for those of you that found me on TikTok, thank you for being here. For those of you that found me on Facebook, thank you for being here. Wherever you came from in my world, I'm delighted to have you be here. So today we're going to talk about, and I've had this thriving business called Soma Life since 2017. Met a young man on a train. We talked for 45 minutes from Penn Station to Manhasset about a common vision that we both had. And this is what the business has grown out of. In the years that I've been practicing psychic development tools, which has been from 1989, I guess 33 years now, I've worked with thousands and thousands of clients and students for tens of thousands of hours and have trained hundreds and hundreds of people on how to use psychic healing gifts, how to read the Akashic records, how to do past life healing, things like that. There's a portion at the end of this where I'm going to talk about some of the opportunities that I have for us to work together, some of the classes that I teach, some of the work that I do. So as we get to the end of this, if you want to stick around and hear some opportunities that you have to work with me, I'll share that with you. If you're done, you're going to get a lot of value today, but if you're done, you're welcome to leave. And if you want to stick around, I'd love to continue to have that conversation with you. So the whole idea and the concept of clearing the clairs is that we have these psychic extrasensory perception abilities. Clairvoyance, which is the ability to see beyond the physical eyes. How many of you feel like you have that ability? You have had the opportunity to see spirit beyond your physical eyes. Please raise your hand. Okay, great. So I'm not talking to a group of people who are like, what is she talking? If you're here, please understand that you're meant to be here, like spirit brought you here. So how many of you have the gift of clairaudience where you've heard messages from spirit? Please raise your hand. Yeah. So here's one of my favorite stories. It's 1984. I had just become a born again Christian and I started hearing voices and I was like, this can't be good. It scared the crap out of me. Turned out it was Jesus. He told me years later it was him. He's like, it's me. It's always been me. So I also channel him. I hear this voice. I'm getting ready to go to work. It's a Friday. I'm going out that night after work. And I hear this voice that says to me, take an extra pair of stockings to work. And I'm like, what? It says to me twice, take an extra pair of stockings. Now I know that if you hear something 3 times, you got to listen to it. So by the 3rd time, the voice said, take an extra pair of stockings to work. I was like, okay, take an extra pair of stockings, stick them in my purse. My girlfriend Mary calls me and she's like, hey, you want to go to I think it was Rusty Pelican or Rusty Fisherman or something like that. It's Friday and they have clam chowder, which I love New England clam chowder. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So we met for lunch and, sat down, had our soup, our little bread. And as I go to get up, it's a nautical theme. So the chairs are wooden and literally my stockings catch on the chair and they just totally shredded. And I don't have time after work to go home and change my stockings. But what do I have in my purse? An extra pair of stockings. Those are the voices. Does anyone have you just get these messages like, do this, do that, don't do this, turn right, turn left. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. So that's your clairaudience. Then some of us have clairsentience. So how many of you, when you feel spirit, like you get goosebumps up and down your arms, the hair kind of stands up, or it gets really cold in the room, right? That's clairsentience. They're here. Ooh, like what's happening right now. There's so many beings in this room. Like you guys brought all your guides. Thank you very much. It's a very full house right now. And then there's claircognizance. And claircognizance is like the mother of all the gifts. Claircognizance is when you just know stuff. You don't know why you know it, but you just know it. So I have this friend named Charlie Tedesco, and Charlie was going to lead this event at a center called the Eyes of Learning. And I'd never met Charlie before. I just heard there was a guy who was going to be talking about sacred geometry. And I was like, I love sacred geometry. I go to this event, and I guess Charlie expected like 20 people to show up, and 80 people showed up. So I see Charlie, and when I sit down and look at him, he's the speaker. I see this golden Egyptian crown on his head, and I'm like, oh my God, what's that? There's your clairvoyance, where suddenly you're seeing like a past life memory of something. And I blinked, and the crown went away. So I walk up to Charlie, and I gave him this little gift bag, and it was something that I gave to guests that came to my center. And it was an organza bag, and there was a little rose quartz crystal inside. There was a piece of Palo Santo, the beautiful wood that you burn to bring in good energy. There was a sage bundle used to smudge to clear out negative energy. My business card, my partner's business card, and I give this to Charlie, and he's like, oh, thank you very much. So Charlie starts talking about how when his best friend's father was dying, Charlie went to the hospital, and he said a prayer over his best friend's father. And his prayer was, may his soul receive the highest elevation possible, given his good works this lifetime. And I don't know what happened when Charlie said that, but it was like it went inside of me. And now when anyone I know, when they have someone who passes, that's the prayer that I always say. And his best friend's father dies. 3 months later, the sister goes to a medium. And the father comes through and says, thank your brother for the priest that was at the bedside. She calls her brother and she goes, who was a priest you had at dad's bedside? He goes, I didn't have a priest at the bedside. I had Charlie. So he calls up Charlie, goes, why is my father saying you're a priest? And Charlie says, because I'm a priest in the order of Melchizedek. And I felt like I got hit by thunder and lightning, like boom. And I knew in that moment that Melchizedek, the order of Melchizedek, was the order that Jesus had been ordained into. I don't know how I knew that. So at the break, I go up to Charlie, and I was told, by the way, that day to wear a piece of moldavite. Now, moldavite is one of the most powerful and precious stones, and I had it in a pendant around my neck. It's a rather expensive crystal. And all of a sudden, the voice says to me, give Charlie your moldavite. And I'm like, I don't want to give Charlie my moldavite. The voice says, give Charlie the moldavite. And I'm like, oh, give Charlie the moldavite. So I go back up to Charlie, and I take this off, and I said, Charlie, I'm supposed to give this to you. And he goes, you already gave me a gift. I'm not taking your moldavite. And I looked at him with all seriousness, and I said, they told me 3 times, I need to give you my moldavite. And he's like, okay. So he gives me this beautiful pendulum. Not a pendulum. It's a Merkaba. Does everyone know what a Merkaba is? It's like the triangle that points up, the triangle that points down, and then there's like a crystal on the inside. So Charlie gives me this, and I said, how did you get ordained into the order of Melchizedek? I need to do that. And he said, there's this guy named Reverend Dan. So anyway, within a year, I got myself ordained in that order. That's claircognizance. It's like you don't know where it comes from. It's just this thunderbolt of information comes to you. Have you all had an experience like that? You don't know where it came from. You don't know what. Raise your hands, please. I'd love to see. Exactly. You don't know why it came to you. You don't know where it came from, but you know that information now, and it's yours, right? So what happens to us? How many of you believe in past lives? Please raise your hand. Okay. Are there some of you that might be a little skeptical, like a little iffy, like maybe, maybe not? Okay, that's fair. So when I was 11 years old, my mother had me read a book about Edgar Cayce that was called The Sleeping Prophet. Has anyone read that book? It's an incredible book. It's the story of Edgar Cayce, who would go into trance, and he would bring information back from the Akashic records to tell people what happened to them in a past life, to tell people how it is that they could heal themselves from afflictions. So I read this book, and I was like 11 years old. Akashic records, that sounds so familiar. And I didn't, at the time, this was the 70s. So I think there was like Eric Von Daykin and Chariot of the Gods. I'm really aging myself out here. There was, I think Shirley MacLaine came with her books in the early 80s talking about, all of her mystical spiritual experiences. But all I knew is that there was something more to life, and I needed to find out about it. So in 2018, a girlfriend of mine named Tiffany posts on Facebook, I just got trained to read the Akashic records. And I was like, oh my God. And she said, I need volunteers. And I was like, pick me, pick me, pick me. Called her up, a text her, Tiffany, you have to read my records. She's like, okay, calm down. I was a little excited. I thought you had to like travel to India to get your Akashic records read. And I said, how did you learn this? And she goes, well, there's a woman named Linda Howe, and she wrote this book called How to Read the Akashic Records, which is the quintessential book on the records. So I find Linda Howe, and she's like, and she trained this person, that they trained that person, they trained that person, they trained that person trained me. So she was like 6 or 7 people away from Linda. So I follow Linda Howe, and then she announces she's doing a 3-month training with people from around the world on how to read the records. And I'm like, I don't care what it takes. And it was ridiculously expensive. I thought it was expensive. Now I'm like, that's nothing. But I signed up for this program, and there were 48 of us around the world that signed up. And what I found in the Akashic records is that we have lifetimes where we close down our psychic gifts and abilities because we were killed for them. Who here has ever had a belief that they were killed for some of their abilities? Hung, burned, stabbed, garroted, killed, murdered, maimed, thrown off of bridges, drowned, like whatever that is. So what happens is we have these gifts and abilities that come from God because we are, these creatures that were born of God, but we've somehow closed them down. So I have a girlfriend. She's an incredible shaman, professor, has worked with presidents. She's just absolutely amazing. But her clairvoyance was closed down. We're going to go through a process. I'm going to take someone here, and we're going to go through a process, and we're going to teach you how to measure your clairs. Okay. Then I'm going to take her through a process, him or her, whoever this is. And we're going to show you how to open up the places where you've closed down your clairs from trauma that's happened to you through an energy process that I call psychic surgery, something that I've created over the years. So we take her into a past life, and she's the medicine woman of a tribe somewhere out in like Montana. And what has happened is she's the oldest living member of this tribe. She's like 100 and something. So who's running the tribe now are the younger tribe members. And they don't believe in her magic. They don't believe in her visions, but she sees that there are marauders that are going to come, and they're going to destroy the tribe. And she warns everybody. And it comes the day that she sees this vision happening. She goes and she hides out in a cave. She comes back, and everyone's just about destroyed, but there are a couple people that are left, and they said, you did this. You made this happen. You had this vision. You created this. And they took 2 pieces of wood that they burned hot like coal embers. They put them on their eyes to burn her to death, to burn her eyes out. And then they left her. And she made a decision to never use her gifts of clairvoyance again. We've made those decisions in multiple lifetimes. I'll never use my clairaudience again. Imagine Joan of Arc. I will lead France. I've heard voices. I will lead France to victory. And then they bring you to trial, and they're like, yeah, you hear voices, you're a witch, and now we're going to kill you. I'd be like, sorry, I'm out of here. We've closed them down. So what we're going to do now is take you all through an exercise. So I'm going to ask everybody to please get a pen or a pencil or your favorite writing tool. If you're working on an iPad, get your iPen, Apple Pen, Lori, you're having a little freak out moment. I like your little mind blown. I love that emoji. That's one of my favorite, where the mind goes, poof. Aren't the emojis the best? I get such a kick out of them. Oh, you're driving. Aw. All right. So do this in your head, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write the initials CV, which stands for clairvoyance, CA, which stands for clairaudience, CS, which stands for clairsentience, and CC, which stands for claircognizance. So I just got a message that there are a couple people here that I want to recognize. The very first person that I want to recognize, I told you guys quickly in the beginning, is Priyanka Gupta. Priyanka is my virtual assistant. She's literally been with me every day of my life for the past 2 years when I first came online. She is remarkable. She has attended classes and done work with me over the past 2 years and has developed some really phenomenal psychic abilities. And she keeps me in line, and I'm a handful. So I just want to say how much I appreciate her.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you. Very kind of you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Let's see. And then I saw, oh, there's Jill. So Jill Amato is another woman that has been, she very bravely, almost 2 years ago, joined a program that I was teaching for a year. And she came in, and Jill is one of probably the most stellar students I've ever had in my life. She has taken everything that I taught her and not only applied it to her life, but applied it to so many people. She's an incredible teacher. She's an incredible healer. So thanks for being here, my love.
You're welcome. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate the one whose brain exploded, because I get it. I feel the same way. I've felt the same way, and just hang in there. It'll make sense one day. It really will. I feel you though.
Jill has become a really dear friend, and I'm hopping on a plane next Friday, the 5th of October, to go and spend some time with her and some other friends to celebrate my birthday in Vegas. So I'm very excited for that. I love you.
I love you. Thank you.
Next, we have Ellen. Oh, and Bernadette's here too. So there's Ellen. Ellen has been a friend of mine. Oh my God. Ellen's been a friend of mine, I think almost 20 years now. And Ellen and I lived in Los Angeles, and Ellen was the one who, like, she collects the orphans. So if you didn't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving, Passover, Christmas, everything got celebrated. Ellen was that person. Ellen entered my classes at the beginning of the year, and is another extraordinary, gifted psychic, medium, and channel. She's an artist. She does quantum biofeedback, and she has really taken what it is that I've taught, and she's run with it. So she's also a teacher and an incredible healer. So thanks for being here, babe. I love you.
Hi, thanks for having me. I just want to let everyone here know, all you big, beautiful souls, that you are here for a reason, and you can all do this. This is our divine spark. It is our gift to the world. Oh, I'm getting the chills even just saying, guys. So that's how Spirit's coming through me. So this is a message for each and every one of you. We can all learn how to do this, and the world needs us all right now.
Absolutely. If you're here, Spirit brought you here, because there's definitely something that they want you to know. Lori's giving us a hands up.
We have raising and elevating the planet. So it only takes a small group of souls to raise thousands and thousands of people. So welcome to your divine appointment, everybody. And I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. If you feel called, take the classes. You're all going to be great students. So don't get intimidated. And now, if your numbers are low, because practice makes perfect, the more you do this, the higher and higher your numbers are going to be. I started off already, pretty good. And now I'm like off the charts. So I'm able to say yes to my gifts. I was hiding in the closet also, a closet channeler, need to know basis. And slowly I'm opening the door, peeking out, letting my tribe know, I haven't gone full public, but this is just my tribe. So each and every one of you we're all part of the tribe, or we wouldn't be here. So welcome, enjoy today's lesson, and I love you all.
Thank you, baby. The next person that I want to introduce you to is Claire Jackson. Claire and I have studied a similar body of work, and we had a chance to meet back in, oh my God, when was the first retreat? December? I think it was in December. It was in December of last year. We're studying a body of work that is called The Way of Mastery with a gentleman named J.M. Hammer, who ended up channeling Jesus. He was literally getting ready to go to work. He felt compelled to sit down and go into meditation. He opened his eyes, a golden portal opened in his living room, and Jesus literally walked through, and he's like, "Hi, Mark. We have some work to do together." And, anyway, so Claire also came into my classes in January. In fact, she and Ellen were in that class together, and Bernadette, who you're going to meet in just a second. And there was just something about that class, like that class, it became something really incredible. And I have a whole bunch of people. So Claire as well is a teacher and a healer, and she's actively taking these tools and using them. And I couldn't be more honored. I call her one of my dearest friends, and she's joining us in Vegas for my birthday. If any of you want to join us in Vegas, I'm just saying we're going to have a rocking time next week. So thank you for being here, Lovey.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. These tools have completely changed my life, my inner world, my outer world, and how all my relationships. And I met kind of a new family, and I've come out publicly out of the spiritual closet, and am really finding my true self. And that's been amazing to introduce myself to myself.
Yeah, and you do it really well. Thank you for being here. I love you.
Thanks. I love you.
And then let me introduce you to Bernadette. So Bernadette, when I teach the Akashic Records, because I know my past lives, I've been dealing with them for years. I know the last, I don't know, probably 40,000 years of life on Earth, of my incarnations, going back to Atlantis and Lemuria and everything else. So what I do is I test the students, and I ask them a series of 8 to 12 questions about my past lives, giving them little clues, and then they have to answer, so I know that they're actually in my Akashic Records. And of all the students that I had one student that answered all 8 questions correctly, and that was Bernadette. So she is an extraordinarily gifted psychic. She's a wizard with reading the Akashic Records, and someone that I have just grown incredibly fond of. So Bernadette, thank you for being here tonight. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And, I will not forget when you called me, and I just said yes. I never knew that I had gifts like this. And now I'm so grateful, unraveling and unwrapping all these gifts that God gave us. Thank you so much, Lynn.
You're welcome, baby. So I hurt my back about 3 weeks ago, and one of my friends, Fred, comes rushing over to my house with a rosary. And on one of the little charms, it said Our Lady and Bernadette. And I turned this around and I'm like, well, this is no accident. And literally Bernadette came through the next day, and she put a message to me and Priyanka, and she's like, this is how we're going to take Soma life to the next level. And it was like one of those texts where you're like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I'm like, where did this come from? And she goes, I don't know, it was a download. And Jesus said to me, I told her because you couldn't hear me. So do everything she told you. And the very first thing that it said is you got to start teaching master classes. So I opened it up, 508 people, 12,000 views later. So Bernadette, thank you for that. She's sometimes my mouthpiece to Jay. I call him Jay when I'm not listening because I'm a little caught up in my ego. And I don't know about the rest of you. Here's what I need to let you know. I channel Jesus and sometimes I curse. So when I'm deep in my ego is a flaming asshole. So I apologize if I offend you. I just want to keep it really real. Like when I'm in it, I'm in it. And then I pop back out and I'm like, I feel like I can breathe again. So just so you know, like I'm not sitting here saying that there's white light shining out of any orifice. I promise you there's not. But what I am committed to is the truth. And when I am in my shed, I have this handful of incredible beings and so many others to go to and be like, dude, my head is really far up. Help. And these people, like we've grown such a trust with each other that we can really do that and help each other when we fall into our darkness. So I'm just blessed by having these people in my life. All right. So now let's get into clearing the clairs. Everybody write down CV, which stands for clairvoyance, your ability to see spirit beyond the physical eyes. CA, which is clairaudience, your ability to hear spirit beyond the physical ears. CS, which is clairsentience, your ability to hear spirit, to feel spirit beyond the physical touch. You may feel their presence, you may feel them actually touch you. Archangel Michael does this thing where he comes and he lifts the back of my hair and he kisses me on the back of my neck. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, total girl, total girl when he comes and does that. And then there's CC, which is claircognizance. And claircognizance is just that knowing that comes in. Lori, I love you. I want you to come to every every one of these. She's sending me the coolest emojis. I'm having so much fun. Please be safe while you're driving, my love. Oh, thank you. Okay, so here's what we're going to measure. Now, some of you may be higher than these numbers. Please take them, whatever comes, listen to your inner voice. So I want everybody to close your eyes. I want you to take a long, slow, beautiful breath in through the nose. And then I want you to take a nice, relaxing exhale through the mouth. And I want you to start to drop your consciousness from your head, making your way down towards your heart. Take another long, slow, beautiful inhale in through the nose. Let it fill you up completely. Pause at the top. And then as you exhale through the mouth, continue to drop your consciousness down towards your heart. The mind controls the body, but the breath controls the mind. Take another long, slow, deep, rich, beautiful inhale in. Pause at the top. And then as you exhale through the mouth, continue to let your consciousness come all the way down into your heart. From your heart, I want you to answer the following questions. On a scale of 0 to 10, the very first answer that comes to you, on a scale from 0 to 10, at what level is your clairvoyance? Jot that number. If you come up with a number that's more than 10, that's perfectly acceptable. If you come up with a number that's less than 0, we need to talk. Just kidding. All right, next is clairaudience. Take another inhale in. On a scale of 0 to 10, at what level is your clairaudience? Thank you. Next, we have clairsentience. On a scale of 0 to 10, at what level is your clairsentience? Thank you. And then finally, on a scale of 0 to 10, at what level is your claircognizance? I have my students do this weekly, and your numbers are going to change. The last two, Lori, were clairsentience and claircognizance. Clairsentience is that feeling. So clairvoyance and clairaudience, when you're going to clear them, I have people go into the third eye, because usually there's some covering of the third eye that's blocking the clairvoyance and the clairaudience. When I have people clear their clairsentience, I'll have them go into the heart for the feeling. And when they're clearing their claircognizance, I'll have them clear it through the crown chakra. So these are upper body senses. So we have the three lower body chakras. We have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus. Your third eye was buzzing. Oh, I love that. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm just getting caught up. Aw. Dania, thank you so much for being here from the south of France. It's got to be rather late for you. Okay. So anybody who would like to be the guinea pig tonight and have your clairs read, please go ahead and put yes in the chat. Okay. And now this is where Priyanka uses her incredible psychic abilities. So Priyanka, please pick someone. Let spirit guide you.
There is, let's see. Bianca.
Okay. Can you please bring Bianca forth?
All right.
Bianca, can you come on camera?
Let me just find her. Yeah, she's right there.
Okay, great. Hi,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Where are you
Hello,
dialing in
everyone.
from? Hi. Where are you dialing in from?
Sweden.
Sweden. Oh my God, it's rather late over there. Thank you so much. Is it 2 in the
Yeah, it's
morning?
2:00 in the morning.
It is 2 in the morning. We have a morning group that meets every morning for meditation and channeling. We have people that channel Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Hathor, all these different beings. And we have people from Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, Germany, England, France, Spain. We have someone who comes in from Russia. We have one gentleman that comes in from Singapore. We have people that come in from Argentina. We have people all across the US. We have a very international platform. So I've come to memorize some of the time zones. So thank you very much for being here. It's an honor to have
Thank you
you
for
here
having me.
at 2 in the morning. I have students, we start classes and it's midnight for them. Okay, so if you're going to clear your clairsentience, you clear it going into the heart because you're going to feel with your heart. And if you're going to clear your claircognizance, you want to look to see what the blockage would be with the crown chakra. Okay. All right, beautiful. So Bianca, will you please give me your numbers?
So I had a 4 and 8, 7 and 7.
Okay. Eight. So your clairvoyance was a 4. Your clairaudience was an 8. And then your clairsentience.
7 and then 7.
7 and then 7. Okay. So I always start with what is the lowest. So we will start with your clairvoyance. So the process I'm going to take you through is called psychic surgery. And psychic surgery is a process where we're going to look at energy. Everything in the universe is made of energy. Einstein had a dream. He saw the formula E = mc squared. Who knows that formula? Would anyone like to tell us what does the E stand for? You can type it in the comments.
Energy, maybe?
Exactly. What does the C stand for? C is the constant, which is known as the speed of light. And then the M stands for mass. So any mass, any matter that you can travel at the speed of light squared instantly converts to pure white light energy. So I had a teacher when I started ministerial school in the early 90s. And the question on his exam was, what is God? And he wrote E = mc squared, packed up in less. And the teacher gave him an A+ for that answer. So if you imagine that everything in the universe is pure white light energy, that is God, that is love, then everything else has entered into duality and has a dance with shadow. Okay. So if your clairvoyance is closed, there's somewhere that you felt the need to not be able to see spirit fully. Okay. The questions I'm going to ask you are going to give us somatic or body type aspects to the energy that's blocked within you. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Take a beautiful breath in. And the first question that I will have for you is, I want you to take a breath in to your third eye. And on your exhale, I want you to bring your consciousness back about 2 inches until you come into the center of your forehead. And there is an enormous cave there that's called the Cave of Brahman. So if anybody at home wants to follow along, you can absolutely do this with us, okay? So the very first thing you want to do is you want to get to that Cave of Brahman. And you just want to feel the expansiveness that lives inside of you. This is where the seat of the soul exists within the body. In the middle of the cave is your third eye. It's the ability to see inwards. And there's something that's covering your third eye. I want you to tell me, what color is it?
It's a whitewashed. washed white.
Whitewashed?
Yes,
Okay.
it looks like a leaf.
It looks like a what?
A leaf.
A leaf?
Yes.
Okay, very good. What shape is it?
Oval with a pointed end.
Okay, very good. And how big is it? Show me with your hands.
It's not much. It's almost as a little bit bigger than a normal eye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. How much does it weigh?
Not much.
Okay, thank you. What temperature is it?
It's like room temperature is just slightly cooler than.
Okay,
It feels like a dead leaf. So
Okay.
it's that it doesn't have a temperature of its own.
okay,
It's
thank you. Very good. What material is it made of?
It's a dry leaf.
Dried leaf? Okay, very
Mm.
good. Is it moving? Does it have any movement or sensation to it?
No, it just covers the eye.
Okay, very good. What is its purpose?
My first thought is to keep the eye closed, but it might be some significance. I mean, it's very light.
Okay, thank you. So the next question I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you several times. Emotions are energy in motion. So there are emotions that are stuck inside of this that you had not allowed yourself to experience. When we allow ourselves to have energy come to us, it moves through us. But if it comes too rapidly, like it's a shock or something traumatic that happens, we close down our ability for the energy to come through, and it creates a mass. And it has a texture and a temperature and a size and a weight and a purpose and meaning, but it's filled with emotions that haven't been experienced yet. So I want to ask you, what are the feelings and emotions that are trapped inside of it? This little leaf, what are the feelings that are in there? Breathe into them. Beautiful. What's the first emotion that surfaces?
If I'm not right, it's frustration.
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to breathe into the frustration. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, I want you to dive into the frustration and allow yourself to feel that. And as you allow yourself to feel it, it begins to dissipate. Beautiful. Take another inhale in. What other feelings and emotions are trapped inside of it?
In the leaf, you mean?
Yes, inside the leaf.
It came wisdom.
Wisdom? Beautiful. So there's wisdom that is hiding behind the leaf.
The leaf is like a silk cocoon.
Mhm.
It seems to be empty. It seems to have a space in it.
Yes. Yes. Wisdom. Beautiful. Take another inhale in. What other feelings and emotions are trapped inside of it?
Sadness.
Thank you. I want you to breathe into the sadness and allow yourself to feel that sadness. Dive into it. Beautiful. What other feelings and emotions are inside of it?
It's grief.
Thank you. Take an inhale in, and on your exhale, dive into the grief and let yourself feel the grief. Let yourself fully experience grief.
I see fire,
Thank
like
you. Thank you.
people
Keep going.
fighting, and it's
Mhm.
huts in fire.
Yes. Thank you. What else do you see? Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Let yourself remember this. This is the pain that's closing this down. You didn't want to see this before, and you're perfectly safe now. What happened?
It feels like it's my people fighting with each other. It
Yes.
looks like an internal, or like a, how
Yes.
do you call it? An internal war, civil war, but it's way
Yes.
back.
Bianca,
Quite
I
primitive.
want you to tell me the first answer that comes to you. What year was it? Just give me the first number that comes to you. Don't second guess it.
The first that came was 1872.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to ask you another question. Tell me the first answer that comes to it. Sometimes our minds will try to talk us out of things. Where was it? Just allow the information to come. First answer.
South America, in the mountains.
Thank you. Okay. What happened? I want you to move through this incident, telling me what you see, feel, hear, and experience as we go. Let it play out like a movie.
I just keep watching them fight with each other, and I feel helpless.
Thank you. Breathe into the helpless. Take an inhale in. Breathe into the helpless. Who is fighting that you love? Who is the person that is fighting that you love?
I'm not fighting with anyone. I just watch them fight.
I understand. Let me rephrase the question. You're watching some people fight and you love these people. Who is the person that you're watching fight? Not that you're fighting with. But Spirit is saying that there's someone that you love and you're watching them fight and it's causing you tremendous pain. Who are they to you?
My brother and my lover.
Thank you. And what happens? Follow it through till the end. Who dies? Keep breathing.
I feel rage.
Thank you. Who died? Feel the rage. Which one of them died?
The older one, but I don't know if it's my brother, or if it's my lover.
Are you willing to allow yourself to remember? This is the point of pain. Take a breath in. This is where you close down your clairvoyance because you did not want to see what happened, but you did. Who was the one that died?
My lover.
Say again.
My lover.
Thank you. Okay. Allow yourself to feel that grief. Take an inhale in. What decision did you make as a result of this incident?
To never feel this pain again.
Thank you. Thank you, my love. Allow yourself to breathe. Priyanka, please, the next time we do this, tell people to bring tissues. I am so sorry, but we always make people cry.
I'm fine.
I'm a big crybaby. It's okay. Beautiful. My love, are there any other feelings or emotions inside of the leaf cocoon?
I don't know why it came to say a baby, but I don't see any baby.
It's okay. Were you pregnant?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other feelings or emotions inside of the cocoon, inside of the leaf?
Mother love.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Any other feelings or emotions inside of it?
No, it's mother love with everything that entails nurturing and care and
Yes, yes. And forgiveness. Thank you. Any other feelings or emotions inside of the leaf?
no, just a tiny spark of light.
Beautiful. So we're going to do a few more steps. I want you to take an inhale in, and with your exhale, I want you to surround the leaf and the little cocoon with a field of love. Imagine God's golden light completely embracing the leaf and the cocoon that's been blocking your third eye. Beautiful. Were you able to surround it with love?
It's in God's hands.
Yes. Take another inhale in, and on your exhale, very gently and very easily, you're going to slide it out of your head. It's going to go right through the forehead. It's going to move out in front of you about 3 feet. That golden light is like spiritual Vaseline. It's just going to glide right out. It goes out about 3 feet in front of you. Beautiful. Did it go all the way out? Okay. Take another inhale in, and on your exhale, turn it white. And as you turn it completely white, it literally disintegrates and it goes right back to God. It goes right back to the heavens, right back to source. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Now, it's one of my favorite parts. So you're going to ask a fairy to borrow her fairy wand. And you're going to tap your third eye. And it's going to heal where that's been blocked for you. By the way, the fairy world, they love to help with this. They love to help with this so much. They've actually come and thanked me because they've been helping so many people to do this kind of healing. Okay. Now, my love, I want you to take a beautiful inhale in, and I want you to start to bring yourself back to your body. You've been on the other side for a little bit. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to roll your neck a little bit. And then when you're ready, I want you to go ahead and open your eyes. That was really beautiful. I thank you for the courage to bring all of that forth in front of us. Thank you. So now we're going to measure your clairs again. You ready?
Yeah.
So we did a little more than psychic surgery. We actually had to do another technique that's called incident handling because she went into a past life. So you guys are going to get to see measuring the clairs, clearing the clairs using psychic surgery, and also incident handling. Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, at what level is your clairvoyance?
10.
Wait till you see the other ones. You ready? On a scale of 0 to 10, at what level is your clairaudience?
9.
That went up a point. So you went from 4 to 10 on clairvoyance. You went from 8 to 9 on clairaudience. On a scale of 0 to 10, at what level is your clairsentience?
11.
I love when that happens. So that went from 7 to 11. Beautiful. And last but not least, oh, I just got goosebumps. They said it's going to be a big one. On a scale of zero to whatever, at what level is your claircognizance?
At least 10.
Beautiful. So you're a very gifted being. I thank you to Priyanka for bringing Bianca for. I have to tell you this hilarious thing that happens. I'm talking to Siri and I'm like, Priyanka, da 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 da. And every single time, what does it come out as? Bianca. I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. I have goosebumps all over the place. So maybe this is why, because, oh my God, that's so funny. My angel wings are like, wow. I just went, wow. Okay, so fun. So, yeah. Thank you, my love.
Thank you. Any explanation for this, like the aftershock bodily sensations? I'm like,
yeah, there's so much light that is now pouring into you. So you got to understand, you were like this, and now you're like this. Your clairvoyance went from a 4. It's now at a 10. There is so much light. Oh, you're welcome, Carmel. People are saying thank you. Yeah, you're having like a Kundalini download right now, where all this light is pouring in. I want you to drink a lot of water. You just moved a tremendous amount of psychic energy, and they're telling me to have you like spend some time in the sun and allow your body to acclimate to the light that's coming in now. Beautiful.
I hope it's sunny tomorrow. It's been raining for 2 days here.
Okay. Listen, it's crazy late for you. So I want to thank everybody for being here. It's almost 8:30. I'm going to spend the next few minutes just talking about some amazing classes that we have coming up. I created something special for this class. If you'd like to stick around for that, you're welcome to. If you want to reach out to me directly, you're welcome to. I'm happy to talk to any of you. But in honor of this class, I created something that is called the Esp Bundle, which is a class I'm going to offer tomorrow night. It's a 3-hour class, and I'm going to teach. You guys would get class notes, and I'm going to teach psychic surgery, and I'm going to teach clearing the clairs. So you will have the class notes of how to be able to do that for yourself. You're going to have a chance to practice with other people in the class. So if that's something that you would like to attend, Priyanka, could you drop the link for that? And then I want to tell you about one other offer that I have, and that is I teach a class called Quantum Healing, and that's 6 psychic healing tools. And you got to see 3 of them tonight, which is the measuring of the clairs. And then you got to see psychic surgery, but you also got to see incident handling, which is where we went in and looked at the past life. It handles trauma in a past life incident. But in that class, I also teach holodyne handling. Holodynes are entities, how to remove entities from people. I teach how to read the Akashic records, and I teach past life healing. I call it Akashic healing. I have a discount that's being offered for that. If any of you buy the Esp Bundle, that tuition is credited towards the quantum healing class. And the quantum healing class is going to be taught on Thursdays for 6 weeks, starting on October 13th. And that class is normally $28.88, and tonight I'm offering it for $18.88. And if you buy the Esp Bundle, which is $777, and there are payment plans for all these, that will be applied to the quantum healing class if that's something that you want to do. So if any of you would like to do one-on-one work with me, if any of you want to do mentoring, if any of you want to find out about my year-long training programs or my masterminds or anything like that, take a look. Wait, Michael's sending me a quick message. Thank you, Lynn. Take a look at October 27th to be on the live stream. Ooh, I love that idea, Michael. That's perfect. Done. So there are links inside of the class. I would love to teach you this technique. You can always refer back to this, take it out piece by piece. Quantum healing in October is the last time that I'm going to be teaching quantum healing. And then what I'm going to be doing is turning it over to the teachers and some of the people that you met tonight. If you feel drawn to any of them, if you feel drawn to Jill or Claire or Ellen or Bernadette, or even Priyanka, who's very gifted, but she fights me about it. I don't care. Truth. I'm outing her. Please reach out to us. It's been my pleasure, my delight. Actually, let me just do a quick thing. Does anyone have any questions about what we did here tonight, about clearing the clairs, about psychic surgery, about what you just experienced a miracle? Like, seriously, do you guys get that? That was miraculous. And again, Bianca, thank you so much for your willingness. And I can't believe it's really late. It's really late. But does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask before we wrap up?
Would you like them to write down the questions in the chat?
Sure, you can write them in the questions, or we can take a few people if anybody wants to raise their hand.
Okay.
I think we can take 3 questions if anybody wants to come live. Jackie's raised her hand. Can you unmute, Jackie?
Okay.
Does the surgery have to be done? Hold on a second. Let me see what this says. Does the surgery have to be done numerous times? Not psychic surgery, but that question of what are the feelings and emotions? You have to get all of the feelings and emotions. If you don't, and you ask someone to surround it with a field of love, they won't be able to completely surround it. If you don't get all the feelings and you ask them to move it out, they'll be like, it's 95% out, but there's still another feeling. And I go over this in the training. If you don't get all the feelings and emotions and they move it out, they can't completely turn it white. Jackie, hey love, what's your question?
Thank you for tonight. That was really helpful and exactly what I needed and didn't realize I needed it.
Right on.
I just had a question. I'm very interested in all of this. One thing that I have a bit of experience with, but not formally, is animal communication. And I was wondering if that's something that you have any experience with, or if you cover that at all in any of your courses.
I don't directly have a class on animal communication, but what happens is as you start to clear the clairs, you're going to find out that you're going to have phenomenal abilities that are going to open. I've trained students who have become phenomenal animal communicators.
Yeah.
And talking to the soul of an animal is the same as talking to anybody else's soul. And once you develop a really, really incredible relationship with the Akashic Record, you can talk to any beings. You can talk to trees. You can talk to rocks. You can talk to homes. You can talk to animals. There's all kinds of stuff that you can talk to.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm experiencing now, where at first it was animals clearly, and now it's anything. So I figured everything you're teaching is probably the same. It's all relevant because it's energy and spirit, but just curious on that.
Yep. Jackie, come check out what we have to offer. Click on the link and see if it calls to you. And here's what I want to tell all of you. Listen to your heart. In the Aboriginal culture, there are 3 brains. There's the brain that's in the head, the brain that's in the heart, and the brain that's in the sacrum. You know, listen to your intuition. If it's a hell yes, then do it. If you have any trepidation, don't do it. You know, like just really, really trust yourself with this. It just might not be time for you. I've been doing this for a long, long time. And I have a whole bunch of amazing students that are going to come and start teaching this next year. We're launching a year-long quantum teaching curriculum. I have a mastermind where it's going to be me dealing with people for about 90 minutes once a week for 6 months. You know, any chance you guys have to be around us and what it is we're doing, your psychic abilities are going to be on fire. That I can promise you. Jackie, thank you for your question. I'll take 2 more questions and then we'll wrap up. Anybody else want to ask a question? What are the dates in 2023? So we have in January, I'm going to be starting the 6-month mastermind, and that's going to be on, is that on Tuesdays or Thursdays? Hold on,
January 5th, that is
that a Tuesday?
Thursday.
Okay, so the mastermind is going to be on Thursdays, and then on Tuesdays, I'm going to teach these 7 classes, and they're called Quantum Healing, Quantum Sexuality, quantum abundance, quantum relationships, quantum communication, quantum intelligence, and quantum spirituality. That takes about a year to get through. You saw 1842 with her? Very cool. Very cool. Listen, you know, you get as close as you can, but you just want to let people know that they're not in it this current lifetime, and that's why they're seeing, you know, all this happening. Very, very cool. All right. Any other questions? Let's see. I feel like I'm under a blanket of pain. What is the best course of action to get? What is PSDY? I don't know what that means. Beverly, if you're under a blanket of pain, what is my best? Oh, to get past it. So here I'm gonna give you guys this incredible thing I learned. If you say the code 55515 and you focus on the pain that you feel in the body, you will literally feel the pain lift. Beverly, I want you to do this right now. I want you to focus to where the pain is. And I just want you to repeat 55515, 55515, 55515, 55515. You will literally feel the pain begin to lift off of the body. Yeah, I love trees are my favorite thing in nature. So Dania, the mastermind will be on Thursdays. The courses will be on Tuesdays. And it's going to run for the year. And from time to time, the teachers will be teaching quantum healing because that's something that I repeat a couple times during the year. So you'll get to see them in action, which will be really great. Let's see, I think that's it. I want to thank you all so much for being here tonight. It has been my delight. Oh, I want to tell you about one more thing. So on Fridays, we do a masterclass and we do hot seat coaching for the Akashic Records. You're welcome. Beverly, is that helping? Simone, it was great to see you, my love. Okay, good. 55515. I found it on TikTok. It came from a declassified CIA document. I know nothing. I see nothing. Like, you know, I'm not asking questions. I don't care where it came from. I just know it works. 55515. I don't know why it works. I don't care. Thank you, brain. 55515. The pain is gone. Okay. Priyanka has a message and it says, okay. Yeah. So see you guys on Friday. Good night, Bianca. Rest well. Oh my God, that was amazing. I am blown away every time something like this happens. Like it's pure magic. It's pure love. It's just remarkable. So reach out to me, reach out to Priyanka. If you have, good night, Angela. If you have any questions, if we can be of service to you. If you can't find me, you're not looking hard enough. I am freaking everywhere. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I answer my message on Facebook Messenger. You know, like we're everywhere. If I can help you, if you would like to be trained. Hey, Elise is here. Hey, sweet girl. Elise is a student that's in class with me now. Good to see you, love bud. Oh, thank you for that little heart. What is the link? Oh, the link for the Facebook group. Can you put the Soma Life Quantum Living Experience? So I have a group called the Soma Life Quantum Experience. We're almost at 600 people in that group, and we are posting in there daily. I go live in there. I go live all the time. You can find me on TikTok. I'm under Rev Lynn the board on TikTok. Let's see. How to register for Friday. Priyanka, can you drop the link for Friday's masterclass?
Yes, I'll do that.
Thank you, my love. All right. I thank you all so much. I love you. Thank you for being here. It is my honor to share these techniques. We need them. The world needs them. Please, I invite you to come and get trained. The ESP class is going to be so much fun. It's the first 2 techniques that I teach. So anybody that signs up for the ESP bundle, and if you decide that you want to go on and continue with quantum healing, you can apply the tuition from that to the quantum healing at this discounted rate of $1888. I don't mean to be sales pitchy. I just want to make sure you guys have all the information. Anyway, if you want to work with me, reach out. We'll find a way. Spirit performs like crazy miracles. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Much love to all of you. And I will see you on the internet. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you.
Much love. I love you guys. Thank you for being here.
Oh my goodness.